So, hello everybody, welcome to a new mixing tutorial with me, Daniel Dettwiler. And this time I thought I will be showing you the difference between a real tape recorder, a nice Studer C37, to its digital version in the computer, because this is what a lot of you have been asking for. So here we go, stay tuned. So let's right away start. I will be showing you some music through the tape, through the digital tape emulation, and we obviously also have the neutral version. And actually a tape is one of those things that really is doing a lot. Most engineers that do work with tapes are saying this, me too. It's not always to the better. Not always, because it does so much. Very often I use my tape machine on the mix bus and I think, well, what it's doing with the bass is great and the dimension is great, but maybe this and this and this is not so great. So it's not always better with the tape machine. Let's first listen to the neutral one. So we basically just listen to the CD. It's an old song, Nat King Cole.
Lindo capullo de Ali, si tú supieras mi dolor, correspondieras a mi amor y calmarás mi sufrir, porque tú sabes.
Let's now listen to the tape version. However, obviously, I first has to press record. Here we go.
Lindo capullo de Ali, si tú supieras mi dolor, correspondieras a mi amor y calmarás mi sufrir, porque tú sabes que sin ti la vida es nada para mí.
And again without the tape.
Lindo capullo de Ali, si tú supieras mi dolor, correspondieras a mi amor y calmarás mi sufrir, porque tú sabes que sin.
Again with the tape.
Lindo capullo de Ali, si tú supieras mi dolor, correspondieras a mi amor y calmarás mi sufrir, porque tú sabes que sin ti.
Then maybe quick word about calibration. I calibrated tape machine with a really good technician, so it's basically correctly calibrated. Then I set the levels so that the neutral version is within 0.1 dB to the digital version. However, it's not so easy to calibrate, because obviously the tape machine does change the dynamics and the behavior. So no matter how you calibrate it, it never might be totally perfect. Maybe on a softer part it's different than on a louder part. So what we did, we basically calibrated it with a sine tone at -18 dB full scale and made sure that this is basically exactly the same level. So if you feel that you hear more bass on the C37, well, this is because actually it has more bass. But the interesting thing is that you could not emulate the sound of that with an EQ, not even with an analog EQ. It's not the same. It's basically not only that we have more level in the bass, it's basically like if the musician would have been playing with more energy in the bass. This is something that is really often magical with the tape machines. I have chosen this song from Nat King Cole because I think, that's great music, and we have many old school recordings that sound great, but this mix is not so great. Maybe on a vinyl it sounded better, I don't know, maybe this is a very bad digital reproduction of it, because obviously we are listening here in digital and I got this from the CD and not from the original vinyl, so maybe they have produced the CD bad, I don't know, but this is in the neutral version. Let's listen it again.
Lindo capullo de Ali, si tú supieras mi dolor.
this is just thin sounding. And if I would have a job to master this, well, I mean, you could try with an analog equalizer. However, if you have a tape machine, I mean, that would be the perfect mastering, I think. So let me maybe switch in between, and you see in the Pro Tools screen which is which. This one is the neutral one, which is open now. And then we have, oh, the tape is finished. So let me change while we are listening to the music. We again start with the neutral, yeah, and I can just change here. You see what is open.
Lindo capullo de aleli, si tu supieras mi dolor, correspondieras a mi amor y calmarás mi sufrir, porque tú sabes que sin ti la vida es nada para mí. Tú bien lo sabes, capullito de alelí. No hay en el mundo para mí otro capullo de alelí, que yo le brinde mi pasión y que le dé mi corazón. Tú solo eres.
So now it's one thing to listen to the spectral balance, which of course on this song it's really great what the tape machine does. However, if I would have basically been playback a song that has a lot of bass, then it might be too much. So obviously I chose a track where actually the tape machine more or less fits, so that we also can compare then the digital recreation of it. Now, spectral balance is not the most important thing. The tape, what it's doing is that actually whatever has to be close, it's almost a little bit more close, or in a way it's nicer in front of us. However, what has to be at the back is even nicer at the back. So maybe on this part here, try to hear where the percussion takes place in the room and where the voice is. And let's compare this. We again start with the neutral and then I change to tape.
Y que le dé mi corazón. Tú solo eres la mujer a quien he dado mi querer. Y te brindé lindo alelí, fidelidad hasta morir.
Another thing that tape always is doing, if something is super sharp, like this trumpets, this entire brass section, it's really not such a great mix or recording. It really is sharp. Or also vocals could be sharp, well, that's not so much a problem. But this trumpet section here, well, in the neutral version, it really hurts the hearing system. For whatever reason, I mean, nobody knows how it's exactly working, but whatever is sharp is way less sharp with a tape, and it's way nicer in the room. Let's compare this section.
Por eso yo te
Let me try to make a more or less acceptable loop. Let's start with the tape. I think you can hear it, it's sharper. It's also more small sounding in the digital version, while in the analog version it has like a nice place. It's like sounds like the trumpets, the horns would be bigger for whatever reason. It's really interesting. Now let's hear what the digital recreation is doing. Let's hear the neutral version and the tape simulation.
Dame tu aroma seductor y un poquito de tu amor.
And simulation.
Capullo de alelí. Dame tu aroma seductor y un poquito de tu amor.
Let's maybe hear that part that we heard before.
Morir.
Try to find it.
Morir. eso yo te can.
Okay, and we can maybe just hear. I would just switch a little bit between the tape simulation, between the tape, and between the neutral version. Let's do the same thing on another part, or maybe even another song.
Adios, chaparita chula. Ya me voy porque tú ya no me quieres como yo te quiero a ti. Adiós. Ya me voy porque tú ya no me quieres como yo te quiero a ti. Adiós, chaparita chula.
And the digital recreation.
Ya me voy porque tú ya no me quieres como yo te quiero a ti. Adiós, chaparita chula.
Let's switch between the digital recreation and the original tape.
Ya me voy porque tú ya no me quieres como yo te quiero a ti. Adiós, chaparita chula. Yo me voy para tierras muy lejanas y ya nunca volveré.
And yeah, let me quickly show you this one.
Yo me voy.
Actually here where the singer goes down, that's a good spot to actually really look into the body of the voice. Let's start with tape simulation.
Yo me voy para tierras.
It's almost like in the digital version. Let's hear the digital version.
Yo me voy para tierras. Yo me voy para tierras. Yo me voy para tierras. Yo me voy para.
Actually a little bit more body, so it doesn't do really a bad job in simulating this, but it's not really a lot of more body. Let's compare the digital simulation to the tape.
Yo me voy para tierras. 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 Yo me voy para tierras.
Yeah, and there we have it. We can do this for hours, basically with the digital recreation. I think they did a good job in this. They just did what is possible with today's science. For sure, you have the transfer function. You have maybe a little bit spectrally what it's doing, but it doesn't recreate the body. It doesn't remove the harshness, not at all. And I would not even know how that should work in digital. I mean, nobody knows how it really works in tape. And actually, yesterday I had a meeting with two physics and scientists from the biggest institute that we have in Switzerland. We try to actually research it better to understand more what this magnetic thing is really doing if it goes to the tape, to understand the memory effect, which is actually an effect that nobody has ever been able to recreate digitally. We actually don't even know how we should do this. Then there are also the time variants. I mean, the tape is doing not only things in the spectral balance, but also in the time. And this is extremely difficult to reproduce. And I mean, it's basically a lucky punch in history that those tape machines sound so good. Of course, they have not been constructed for this. Actually, the designers didn't like all those distortion and the inlinearities that happened in a tape. We like it today because we just don't have it anymore. However, to really recreate what it's doing is not possible. First of all, the real tape is bringing to the back what should be at the back and bringing in front what should be in the front. I mean, how is it doing it? Nobody knows. Maybe there is artificial intelligence in the tape machine, and maybe they developed that. Of course not. But it seems a little bit like it. It seems a little bit like it would be remixed in a certain way. And this remixing thing is what you could not do with a mix except if you have the tracks, but we don't have the tracks of this production anymore. We cannot remix it. The tape does remix it, and in this case, in a nice way. And again, I chose a track that does benefit from the tape. There would be a lot of tracks. If you would take some Madonna track with this C37, it probably would not sound good. There you would maybe try a A80 or maybe no tape. I mean, if actually you make a great mix, you don't necessarily need tape. It depends what you want to do. But if you have something, a signal where you benefit from tape, there is no way to recreate it in the computer. Really, no way. So that the spacing is different. Then the size of the instruments gets bigger. I have not found any compressor in my rig or any EQ with which I could do the same thing. I have the Fairman Tube Master EQ, expensive tube EQ. You could boost the basses, but it's not the same effect as if you go through that tape. And the harshness remover. No tape recreation can reduce harshness. Yeah, so let's maybe hear one last other example. Let's actually hear a Madonna track that I talked about, Frozen. Let's just see what it does. Tape.
She needs to fly. Let all the hurt inside of you die. You're frozen when your heart's not open. If I could melt your heart, we'd never be apart.
Not a great example. I think that this is not the right tape for this track, but still it shows very good what the tape machine is doing. And probably, as I didn't plan to show you that track, that is louder than the other one, so we probably should go down with the level, which I don't do because then the calibration is gone. But still, although we have some overcompression, I mean, it still sounds nice with the machine. It sounds big and full. Now, obviously, the digital tape also gets too much level. Now, we also should go maybe a little bit down, which we, again, don't do because otherwise it would be unfair. But now, where we have too much input, well, the real tape kind of saturates a little bit too much, but it's still interesting and nice, while the digital tape basically totally falls down apart and it's not big anymore and it's not nice. Let's compare it again.
She needs to fly. Let all the hurt inside of you die. You're frozen when your heart's not open. If I could melt your heart, we'd never be apart. Give yourself to me.
Yeah, but that all said, the digital recreation is doing a great job. Actually, I would never expect that it comes close because I just know what you cannot emulate. And actually, I think you have a lot of it too. You have a kind of a gluing effect, which is also something that does the tape. You also have it in the plugin. You have a little bit the spectral balance. You don't have basically the reduction of the harshness, which could also be good because in that track, Frozen by Madonna, there is not too much harshness. And so the tape machine even takes a little bit out those high frequency percussive instruments, which is not necessary. So again, I would not master this song with this tape machine. But if you have a music where it actually fits, then it's just really great with this tape machine. Well, I think that is for now. I hope you found it was interesting. Ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, and we have the mixing Bible available. Check it out on my homepage, DanielDettwiler.com. It's a masterclass, not so expensive, where you learn a lot about the 3 criteria of listening, about how to set up EQs, compressors, reverb, how to analyze music, how to build your own taste so that your mixing can improve. Thanks for watching.